What if the best defense of liberty isn't a professional army, but the people themselves, organized and trained to protect it? In Federalist number 29, Alexander Hamilton explains how the militia will serve as the backbone of national defense, which bridges the gap between standing armies and civilian freedom. I'm Matt Haskell, I'm a high school history teacher, and we're taking a journey through the Federalist Papers, all 85 of them, and we're up to number 29 with good old Alexander Hamilton again. By the late 1780s, Americans were deeply divided on defense. Federalists wanted an organized national militia. Anti-Federalists feared it would become another tool of control by an overwhelming, strong central government. So Hamilton's goal here is to prove both sides wrong, that a properly structured militia can actually preserve liberty by ensuring that the people remain both armed and involved in their own defense. And Hamilton had a pretty clear and balanced thesis here. He said a well-regulated militia is the most natural defense of a free country. And he argues that while the national government must have authority over defense, the militia keeps that power grounded in the people. It's a civic army, not a mercenary one. And so Hamilton begins his argument with realism. He admits that training the entire population as soldiers is impossible. To discipline the whole militia, he says, would paralyze the economy and exhaust the people. Instead, Hamilton proposes a select corps, a smaller, well-trained portion of the militia that can act quickly while the broader population remains in the reserve. This balance, Hamilton believes, preserves both safety and liberty. And Hamilton reassures his readers that the states will still play a major role. They'll appoint officers, they'll oversee training and manage a local organization. The federal government's role is coordination, not domination. So he writes that the national authority ought to have the power of calling forth the citizens when necessary, but that it should operate through the states whenever possible. And this is cooperative federalism in its earliest form. Now, the critics, of course, worried that the national government could misuse the militia. They would deploy the militia against their own citizens. Hamilton's reply is sharp. The militia is the citizens. He writes that if the federal government should attempt to tyrannize, the very men called upon to enforce its will would instead turn their arms against those who gave the command. So, in short, the militia is tyranny's natural antidote. Now, beyond strategy, Hamilton sees the militia as a school of citizenship. Serving in defense of the nation strengthens public virtue. It binds citizens to their country, not by fear, but by shared duty. A free people, according to Hamilton, must always be capable of defending their own laws and liberties. Now, Hamilton makes it clear that the militia isn't meant to replace a professional army entirely. He believes in balance here, a standing army for constant readiness, and a large militia as both supplement and safeguard. So the militia is the bridge between liberty and security. The citizens check on the soldier. So once again, let's tighten down the logic of the writer, the author here. Let's look at Hamilton's logic in this. He says that a free nation needs defense, but fear of armies is justified. A well-regulated militia provides a democratic alternative. And only a trained portion is needed for efficiency. The states retain control, preventing federal overreach. And the militia guarantees that the sword of power stays in the hands of the people. So there's Federalist number 29 in 5 easy steps. Now, unlike his fiery tone in some of his earlier essays, Hamilton's tone here turns to be more pragmatic and also patriotic. He's not idealizing war, he's actually institutionalizing peace through readiness. His militia is both a symbol and a safeguard, which is proof that government can trust its people with power. Now, the echo in our modern times, to a degree here, Hamilton's essay continues to reverberate, to echo in debates over national defense and the Second Amendment. His idea of a well-regulated militia wasn't chaos or private rebellion, it was collective responsibility. He believed freedom endured only when citizens were prepared to defend it, together, under law. Now, the takeaways that we can take from Hamilton's essays here are: one, a well-regulated militia keeps power with the people, not above the people. The second point would be that shared defense strengthens civic unity and accountability. And then finally, true liberty is guarded by readiness, not suspicion. So, Federalist number 29 closes the first great chapter of Hamilton's discussion of power. He's shown that defense, when rightly organized, doesn't threaten freedom, it preserves it. The militia stands as the living embodiment of Republican government, citizens protecting the nation they built, armed not only with muskets, but with purpose. I'm Matt Hasquin, and this is another one of those things we should all know just by being alive. If this one helped you see how Hamilton envisioned strength through citizenship, well, please give me a share, a follow. Stay tuned for, we're going to break our way into the 30s for Federalist number 30. And this is where Hamilton begins a new theme, and that is the power of taxation and why a government that can't raise revenue can't protect freedom at all. Thanks for watching.